Hi and welcome everybody. My name is Scott Royal Smith. You are listening to the Real Estate Nerds podcast. As you guys know, this show is hosted by Royal Legal Solutions, your one-stop shop for everything asset protection, estate planning, tax, insurance. And we are here with Marco Santarelli as our quest to be able to find who are the smartest people in the world that are making money and can help us see how can we get better connected to other smart people that are out there about living life to the fullest, creating wealth, creating opportunity, creating connections to help us on this path of living the best life possible. Marco, thank you so much for joining us here on today's show. I mean, we just before the show we were talking about so many things that you have going on, right now, and I'm wondering if you would share with us a little bit about your background so people can get a feel for you, and maybe a couple of things that you're most excited about that you have running right now and creating and inviting people into.
Sure. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, Scott. I'm excited. It was great catching up with you for over 20 minutes before we started recording here. I've got a lot going on. I'm excited about so many things. For the last 20 years, I've been building Norada real estate investments, helping people invest in turnkey residential real estate all around the country. And that's been fun because we've been impacting people and their families, and building real estate portfolios. And your audience knows what that's about. It's about generating, passive income over time and creating wealth. But over the years, I've been a serial entrepreneur, so I ventured out into many different things, creating a private equity firm and investing in everything from Broadway musicals to building and rebuilding brand name e-commerce businesses to creating educational masterminds. So I'm involved in a lot of things, and it's exciting. Yes, I'm burning the candle on both ends, but I've always been a serial entrepreneur. But the fulfilling part about all that is really what I mentioned to you before we started recording, and that's giving back. We've got a charitable nonprofit called Impact Others, and so we take 10% of our profits and put that towards humanitarian projects around the world to help create clean water for people, in third world countries, create sustainable living environments, educating them on entrepreneurship so they can be self-sustaining, providing them food on a daily basis to literally feed thousands of children each day. Educational classrooms, they're not big, these are small buildings, but it allows for small communities to be able to educate the children. So feed them, provide them clean water, education, entrepreneurial or financial education and that kind of stuff. So, that's kind of the big picture. But, the day-to-day stuff is really just building businesses into big businesses so that, that profitability can go into, um, better humanitarian purposes. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
I love it, man. I'm curious, when you with all the things that you're building, right now. I know and I think in the very beginning, right, of your journey, you were starting with working like, one-on-one with like individual investors on like how do you acquire your first property, and how's that working, I'm curious with the number of things that you're working on now, like who are the types of people that you're finding um that are, like these that you're attracting into these different opportunities because you've grown into so many new opportunities. I imagine that the types of people that you're able to influence with their different backgrounds is getting quite a bit more diverse.
Yeah, I mean, as the years have gone by, and it's been many years because it was 21 years ago this coming January, 2024, that marks our 21st anniversary when I started Norada Real Estate Investments. Back then, I just decided to start investing in real estate full time, and it was just me. And so I was doing that. Then investors were coming to me saying, "Hey, I see you're buying a lot of property very quickly. Can you coach me? Can you mentor me? Can you help me?" And it's flattering, but I said, "I'm sorry, I just don't have the time." So that was a light bulb moment. That's when I started the business of Norada Real Estate to help other people invest in the turnkey real estate properties that I was finding it for myself because I couldn't buy all of it. I didn't want to buy all of it. But that's kind of when it all started. But what happened over time as the years went by, my list grew. I was reaching more people. More people were subscribing to my newsletter. More people, when I ultimately started the podcast in 2015, more people were subscribing to my podcast at Passive Real Estate Investing. And so my reach grew, my database grew in size, and I was reaching more and more people, and more of those people became or were sophisticated influential, accredited, high net worth individuals. So my ability to reach more people and more influential people grew. And so it was it created an opportunity for me to start venturing out into other business ventures, to launch a private equity firm and to start investing in various different asset classes and whatnot. So it's kind of a long answer to your question, but I think just as time goes on, if you put yourself out there, your network grows, your ability to reach more people grow, your reputation grows as long as you build and maintain a good reputation, and you're able to influence and impact more people and make more things happen in a faster rate of time, like a shorter space of time, but at a more accelerated rate, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm curious, is that what you intend for people to think about when they think about you and think about like, hey, is Marco somebody that I should be following and listening to? Is it people that are like, I really want to accelerate where I'm trying to get to? Or is it something different that you want people to think about when they think about you?
Um, I have always been a student of business, entrepreneurship, investing money in real estate. In fact, since I was an early teenager, I was educating myself, complete nerd, reading books about business and entrepreneurship and real estate. And back then I wanted to be quote unquote rich. That's not exactly what I wanted to be. I know better today. I wanted to be wealthy because I wanted financial freedom, complete financial freedom to be able to do what I want when I want and have the ability to do that. Um, so, I took the time to educate myself. I took the time to cut my teeth, make the mistakes fall on my face over the years, and fail, 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 and then have small successes, and then started building those small successes into larger successes. A lot of people are afraid to do that, and most people won't do that. But I took the time to do that, and now I'm slowly passing that information forward and on to the people who care to listen, who want to listen. A lot of people know they need this information from guys like you, guys like me, and other people, but they're not ready. They're not ready mentally, or they're just not ready in the time of their life to take that information and do something with it. But all we can do is talk about it, put it in front of people, and those people who feel they're ready will latch onto it and start absorbing it and start building the bricks to build, that empire that they need to create that financial freedom, the time freedom, and the ability for them to do good in the world, not just for them and their family, but beyond their family. So, there's the saying, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. We're here just providing the knowledge and information for other people to take have the ability or the option to drink. So that's the way I look at it. We're like stewards of information.
Mm. I'm curious with, a lot of people, I wonder if you would agree with this. That when they run into finding like new information, and then a lot of times they see the new information and they'll get seemingly stuck into just absorbing more and more information. And there's this question that seems like when I talk to them that says, well, when is the right time? It feels scary to start doing something. And um and like, well, and like they'll say, well, I don't know when the right time is, or yada yada yada. That all goes with that. And I'm wondering if you found like a good way to help people that are saying like, yeah, this information seems good and this seems like the way to go, but for some reason I feel blocked about being able to take some action. We found like a good way to be able to help people move forward and take that initial step.
Well, it's a good question. The thing is you can, I'm a believer in being a lifelong student. I look at a guy like Robert Kiyosaki, who's, extremely successful, very wealthy, created his wealth through both businesses and through real estate. But when I see Robert Kiyosaki in an audience, and there's someone speaking on stage, and they know a lot less than he does. They are nowhere near as successful. He's still sitting at the back with an open notepad and a pen, jotting down notes from whoever's speaking on stage, because he knows that he can always learn something from everybody, regardless of what it is. Like, he'll hear something, maybe hear something again for the second or third time, and it didn't click the first time or the second time he heard it. But he's a perpetual student. So I believe that we should all be students for life. You should always continue to build on your financial education and your education in general. But the thing is you can become the most knowledgeable person on any subject if you wanted to, and still not have any ounce of success because you didn't take action and turn that knowledge into something tangible, something real, something that's actionable that leads you to achieve a particular goal or milestone. So it's one thing to educate yourself, which I believe is very important, but it's another thing to actually pull the trigger and actually what I call make crap happen. You've got to make crap happen. There's like three types of people in the world. There's those people who make things happen. There's people who watch things happen. And then there's this third category of people who wonder what happened. You don't want to be that third person, right? So
I
you've
wonder
got,
just like what's going on out there.
yeah, well,
Some
they're just
people are doing
clueless.
something,
They're
but
clueless. You
oh
know,
yeah, I'm busy watching Netflix. And I don't
yeah,
really know what all is going on over there.
yeah, exactly. It's a level of ignorance that is beyond the level of ignorance. You know, it's like you just don't know what you don't know, and you're completely clueless to everything going on around you.
Hmm.
Um, so so basically it's this, you need to educate yourself enough to the point where you've built enough confidence that you can pull the trigger and take action. The thing is you'll never be 100% confident and you'll never be 100% ready. At some point, you need to, be ready, fire, and then aim.
Hmm.
But you build a team around you to help you in doing that. You have your asset protection attorney, you have your, tax advisor, you have your, real estate broker, you have the people that you need around you to help you achieve that level of success. You're not doing this by yourself. It's essentially a team sport.
Is that kind
But
of where you fit in on the piece of it where it says like what's the community of the people that are looking at the underlying assets? Like how should we be viewing the actual investments themselves? And do I have other people that are around me that have very levels of experience around being able to look at that opportunity or that syndication or that apartment complex or that house, and that that it's and so what I'm gathering from you is like there's like this collection of like people that are around you, and that your focus has really been on helping people learn from uh, in an organized way things that took you years to put together, and that you're creating these communities of people and bringing them together with this kind of education. Say, look, we're not alone. We surround ourselves with good people. Because we surround ourselves with good people, then this is how we have confidence in saying that there's a high degree of success that's going to come with this.
yeah, there's two ways for me to comment on that. Number one is you're not the one rolling up your sleeves and doing all the work. So you're going to surround yourself with a team of people that know what you don't know. You can be the conductor or the orchestrator or the CEO of your business. And then you bring in the people like the attorneys, the tax advisors, the deal finders, whether it's a real estate broker or our company, Norada Real Estate Investments, the mortgage lenders, the title companies, all that stuff. You bring in all those people to do all those pieces of the head, all those pieces of the pie, right? So think of yourself as the hub of the wheel, and everybody is one of the spokes on that wheel that will help you to roll forward, right? So you don't need to be the master of everything. You could be essentially the jack of all trades, but master of none. You just need to know enough to be able to communicate effectively with everybody on each spoke in order to make things happen, like to roll towards your goals. So under that model of the hub and spoke, that's essentially how I built the investment brokerage. It's we are the hub of the spoke, or we're the hub of the wheel, where you're with us in that hub, and then we provide you all the properties you need. We provide you the education. We provide you the asset protection attorneys. We provide you the financing that you'll need, the property managers you'll need. Like everything you need is available through our network because we put them on a spoke of that wheel, and you just plug yourself into the hub, and it allows you to have a team instantly of people who are vetted and have a good reputation and can help you move forward. So you don't need to know everything. You will learn everything as you go, everything you need to know. You will learn as you go. But it's a simple model. The thing is, if you don't follow a model like that, you'll never take action and you'll be the most educated person that is not successful.
Still wondering how do other people do it, right? Like left there, I'm like, oh man, how do they do it? And I studied all this stuff and I didn't end up doing it. I'm
Yeah.
wondering, I'm wondering with that, like there was a key phrase that I heard you say that it was about being like an effective communicator. You're effectively communicating with all of the different spokes as
Mhm.
you're now the hub of it. And I'm wondering if in your experience what separates people that are successful or not successful, like in the aggregate of the number of the thousands of students and thousands of people that you've worked with over the years, do you typically find that there's a almost like a surefire approach that most predictably lends itself to success? Like, for example, um, it could be like, oh yeah, the people that are really the most effective communicators, the one that wins, or no, it's actually the people that are like relentlessly energetic. Like they will just always keep pushing until like it comes um there. Like I guess that's if I understand my question, it's is it is it the communication skills or is it like the tenacity in communicating, right? And like the characteristics that somebody would say like, oh, that's a repeatable factor of success and these types of money making operations.
If you're only talking about communication, I think it's just comes down to tenacity. But if you're talking about a success factor, it really is tied in with tenacity, but it's taking action. And some people don't take action because they don't think they have the right plan or a complete plan. I'll butcher the saying, I don't remember who said it, but something to the effect that a poor plan executed well or aggressively will achieve far more success than a, a perfect plan never executed at all. If you're waiting to create a plan that's perfect, you'll never succeed because you'll never have a perfect plan, and plans will change as you go. So it's more important to have a good plan and move forward with that plan than to have no plan at all or wait for the perfect plan.
Mm, I love that. It reminds me of like as like a bit of a different angle as I'm remembering. Um, like you're reteaching me something that I used to have forefront in my mind, which is it's like the concept of like entrepreneurialism is like just getting comfortable enough to be able to make a decision that says, will my downside be catastrophic if I'm wrong here? Likely. If the answer is no, then let's just move forward because that's going to take me to the next place. And at the next place, I'm going to have better information about
Yep.
what needs to happen there. And that there really is no such that the problem with people getting stuck and not taking action is they think that they're making a decision. And it's actually a series of decisions. It's a thousands of decisions. And that of those are when you're going to be able to have better information that you do now, because it'll be at the time when all of the things are happening. And you'll be able to make the right decision in the moment that's there, like in front of you. And that the
Hmm.
tenacity is to just continue to say, great, I'm making decision. Now it results. Now let me make another decision. Let's see what results. Um, and I was just reminding my listening to you as being reminded of this, like, oh, right. It's not one thing, it's a thousand things. But all I have to do is one thing at a time, which
Hmm.
is, am I going to die if this goes wrong? No. Cool. Let's do it. And then let's see where we're at because this seems
Yeah.
reasonable, especially if you have a bunch of other people that are telling you, hey, this is how it works and it's going to be okay.
Yeah. We're usually making decisions in a vacuum, meaning that we never have complete information. We always you always collect enough information to give you a level of confidence to make a decision. But often we don't have all the information we need. And even when we think we do, we don't know if all the information we have is 100% correct. This is
No.
why I love the game of poker. Poker is a game of incomplete information. You're always making decisions based on known information and unknown information, and you have to make assumptions about the pieces of information you don't actually have. and that all comes down to math, odds, and probabilities, right? So
I
so
love
it's
that.
yeah,
Yeah, man, there's definitely like the poker side of it that when I people also like ask me about that same type of context, right? And the way that I heard you describe it is it's like a very analytical. And when I talk to people about like the human side of like being an effective leader, it's like of course you have the data sheets and you have all of these things and you're trying to be as analytical as you can. He says, but at some level, there's this kind of like intuitive level of knowledge. And then you say, does it feel right?
right.
Because like there's another processing mechanism that you have, which is saying like, does this feel in alignment with for you? Does it
Yeah.
feel like it's the right direction? Well, there's other like subconscious information, that's happening, at those times too. And well, I hear Daniel Negreanu and those guys talk about it around the poker table too, right? That they'll be like, oh, you got the its, I can tell you the cards that you got in your hand, you know,
Yeah.
they operate on a different level. I love
Yeah,
it,
for
man.
sure.
I'm curious with all the ways that people are typically reacting in our audiences, a lot of real estate investors, uh, people typically looking to get to that next stages of wealth, you know that are going on. What are the best ways that they can connect with you or otherwise participate in things that you have going on?
Yeah, I kind of shifted, what I've been giving out in terms of interviews that I do, and so now I just give. I used to give my website to the, real estate uh, company at noradarealestate.com, and then I'd be giving out my other website at noradacapital.com. And those are well and fine, but those don't lead to me necessarily. So one of my business partners, Eddie, said, "Well, why don't you just give out your Instagram handle and your personal website because everything connects off of that. It's kind of like the hub of a wheel. Using that analogy again. So I thought, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So I started doing that. So my personal website is just my full name, marcosantarelli.com. And my Instagram handle has my middle initial in it. So it's Marco G, like George, Marco G Santarelli. And I post on Instagram every day, and there's a link there that takes you to my website at marcosantarelli.com. And that links to all the things that I'm doing, fun or otherwise.
That's
So,
awesome, man. I love that. Yeah, so everybody go check out marcocentrally.com
yeah,
and see what Marco's going on there. And then if you're not one that's all about watch your email inbox, that social media is a great place to be able to catch, what are the things that Marco's got going on next. I know he's pulling in events, pulling in thousands of people together, like in a room with high level speakers and great people. I can't encourage you enough to say, like, if you're going to take action, you're going to be moving on to the next phase of your life, and you're like, I'm going to build, I just need to know exactly what to do. That's awesome. Go get after it. Go do it. If you're at a place that says, I really want that, but I'm feeling kind of shaky, I'm not really ready to be like, I'm all in, I'm 110% in on making this like impact to my life. Highly encourage you to go to more events, like coast off of the excitement, the enthusiasm, and the strength of us as like a collective tribe of people that are trying to make our lives better. There's nothing better than you can do than to be able to surround yourself with great people. And if you go to an event that has 2,000 people and you walk out with 10 new friends, well, that's might be a few 100% more friends that you had that are actually aligned with the stuff that you really want with your life. And the more people you can surround yourself with that actually have the same things that you want for your life, that they want for their life, this is where you have rapid success because you're surrounding yourself with the people that either have what you already want or they want what you want, and you're going after it together. It makes the whole thing more fun. So go get after Marco's website, his Instagram handle, go to his events, and hope you enjoy the success that comes with that. Thank you, Marco, for being here.
thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
All right, everyone, signing off here for the Real Estate Nerds podcast. Go check out royallegalsolutions.com for all of our educational materials we have on asset protection, estate planning, tax, and insurance, everything that's on that realm of fun goodness. And you can always check out my Instagram at Scott Loves Life and see all the fun stuff that I'm doing out there and the people I'm connecting with. Thanks, everyone.